Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jikook World Channel. Moments of togetherness between BTS always have a unique way of touching fans' hearts. But when these two are in the same frame, the atmosphere feels different. The interaction between Jungkook and Jimin, affectionately nicknamed Jikook by ARMYs, is back in the spotlight after an emotional moment that left many wondering. Is this really the end of their friendship as we know it? It all started with a seemingly simple meeting. There was no grand stage or excessive spotlights. Just two friends sitting side by side, talking with sincere gazes and smiles that held countless stories. But from the way they looked at each other, from the small pauses in their conversation, and from the slight tremor in their voices, fans could sense something was different. It wasn't distance, nor was it a bitter separation, but rather a new phase they were facing. Jungkook, who had always been known for his cheerful and energetic demeanor, appeared calmer. Her gaze was soft as she listened to Jimin speak. Meanwhile, Jimin, with his warm smile, tried to convey feelings that were difficult to put into words. They talked about time, about change, and about how their journey together had shaped them into who they were today. There were no dramatic declarations of, "This is the last." But the emotion that radiated was enough to make ARMY's hearts flutter. Their relationship had always been built on a strong foundation of friendship. From their trainee days to becoming part of a global group like BTS, they had grown together. They studied together, practiced late into the night, shared their fatigue, and celebrated each other's successes. That bond wasn't something that could be lost simply because of a change of circumstances or temporary distance. It was precisely in moments like these that their maturity was clearly visible. Their expressions that night weren't those of a painful goodbye, but of gratitude. Gratitude for the long journey they had traveled. Gratitude for the unwavering support of fans around the world. There were smiles accompanied by tears in their eyes, not from sadness, but from emotion. They knew that every phase has its time, and every encounter holds irreplaceable meaning. Fans may have felt apprehensive, especially when they saw how the two spoke in a more reflective tone than usual. But a closer look reveals two individuals maturing, understanding that relationships don't always require constant companionship. Sometimes, distance actually strengthens mutual respect. This moment served as a reminder that Jikook isn't just a buzzword or a social media trend. He's a symbol of friendship, hard work, and a long, memorable journey. When Jungkook smiled slightly after hearing Jimin's joke, and Jimin warmly patted him on the shoulder, it was clear that no matter what the future held, the foundation of their relationship remained strong. Is this truly the end? Or just the end of one chapter before entering a more mature and colorful next one? No one knows for sure, but one thing is certain. Their emotional expressions created a truly heartwarming scene. A moment that made fans realize that what matters most isn't how often they're seen together, but the depth of their bond. Ultimately, Jikook's story is about growth, about two young people dreaming big and achieving them together, about laughter, tears, and unconditional support. Even if they one day walk separate paths for a while, the memories they've created will never fade. And perhaps, it's precisely through that distance that we'll understand more deeply how precious every moment we've shared is. So, is this the end for Jikook? Or just a pause before their story continues in a new way? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. Their sincere expressions have left a warm imprint on ARMY's hearts, reminding us that a relationship built on sincerity never truly ends. Purple Heart. But what made the moment feel even more profound wasn't just the words they exchanged, but their incredibly honest body language. There was the way Jungkook turned his head slowly when Jimin finished speaking, as if ensuring every sentence was fully understood. There was the way Jimin held back a smile while taking a deep breath, as if calming a sudden surge of emotion. Small things like that spoke louder than any statement. Many fans realized that their journey together wasn't always smooth sailing. Over time, each member grew as an individual with their own dreams and goals. In a group dynamic as large as BTS, change is inevitable. But change doesn't always mean loss. Sometimes change is another form of closer, more mature intimacy, more mutual respect, and a better understanding of each other's boundaries and space. Jimin was once known as a highly expressive figure, easily showing affection through touch or jokes. Jungkook, often seen as the energetic younger brother, now appeared with a more mature aura. When the two sat side by side, a new balance was felt. It was no longer just a hyung-dongsing dynamic filled with jokes, but two mature individuals silently supporting each other. The few seconds of silence between them turned out to be the most touching. Within that silence, thousands of memories were stored, from grueling rehearsals to grand concerts filled with a sea of purple lights, from spontaneous laughter behind the scenes to tears unseen by the cameras. All of this formed a bond that couldn't be described in a single word. And when they reminisced together, it became clear that their gratitude far outweighed the fear of separation. ARMY members might wonder if the togetherness they'd so often displayed would change. But perhaps it was time to look at their relationship from a different perspective. Not all closeness needs to be a public display to be real. Not all togetherness needs to be proven with a big moment. Sometimes, it's in simplicity and honest conversations like this that the deepest meaning is revealed. When Jungkook laughed softly and remarked that time really flies, Jimin looked at him with understanding eyes. It was as if they both realized they'd gone through important phases in their lives together. Adolescence, the beginning of their careers, the peak of their popularity, and now the point where they stand as stronger individuals. Nothing can erase the traces of that journey. The emotions displayed that night weren't a sign of the end, but rather a sign of appreciation for what was already there. There was warmth in the way they listened to each other, and respect in every response. They didn't seem like two people preparing to part forever. They seemed like two friends who understood that life would move on, but memories and mutual care would remain. Perhaps this is why the scene felt so touching. Because beneath the speculation and anxiety, what was truly visible was sincerity. A sincerity in accepting change. A sincerity in appreciating the journey. A sincerity in acknowledging that no matter what, they were and always will be important parts of each other's lives. If this was the end of a chapter, then it closed with gratitude, not regret. And if this was merely a temporary pause, then it was filled with the assurance that their story wasn't over. Whatever their future together might hold, that emotional moment served as proof that a bond built through hard work and sincerity will never truly fade. In the end, the question, is this really the end for Jikook? Perhaps doesn't need a definitive answer, because what matters most is what they showed that night. Maturity, respect, and genuine warmth. And as long as those feelings remain, the end isn't something to fear, but rather part of a long, ever-evolving journey. Purple Heart. And that's the moment that makes many of us wonder, is this really the end? Or is it the beginning of a new, more mature and meaningful chapter? Purple Heart, whatever happens next. One thing is for sure, the bonds, memories, and journeys they've been through will always be a beautiful part of our hearts as ARMYs. If you're feeling emotional at this moment, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is really the end, or just a temporary hiatus? I'd love to hear your theories and feelings. Don't forget to like this video if you're touched, share it with your fellow ARMYs so we can fangirl and fangirl together. And of course, subscribe to stay updated on the world of BTS and other emotional moments. See you in the next video. Borahi, Purple Heart.